Good afternoon, everybody. We're back out here in the garden. We're at our broccoli patch, and today we are adding drips to our broccoli here. We've got 12 plants. Kelsey and I would love to show you guys some things that we've made mistakes on and ways we can prevent those mistakes from happening. We also want to talk about spacing of broccoli plants today. These plants start out very small and then they grow and grow and grow and grow. So they need a lot of spacing. We want to talk about watering these and why it's important to continue watering these either with drips or with sprinklers throughout the season, especially if you live in a dry, hot climate like we do. Also want to talk about a non-chemical use of some netting to prevent the moths from eating your broccoli plants and landing down there, laying their eggs, and having those little green worms that you can barely see on your broccoli when you're going for harvest. Sometimes it's hard to see those and you can get them right in your food if you're not careful. So preventing those from getting on your food is awesome. And we can show you a quick and easy way to do that without chemical use. Let's get started right now.
When we first started 3 years ago, we got the dirt from our local Newton Rock and Mulch. I wanted to amend it with some black cow manure to give the broccoli the nutrients that it needed. I bought the broccoli from our local greenhouse here, planted them in early May. So as these broccoli plants progressed in growth, one thing that I did realize, you need to have them spaced at least 18 inches apart for nutrient and water reasons. These plants, they start out small, but as they progress, they get bigger and bigger and bigger, and they're competing for space, nutrients, even sunlight for that matter. So one of the ways that we prevented the cabbage moths from coming and attacking our broccoli, insect netting. And you can get this for pretty inexpensive, and you just cut it to fit. And I got these really nice clip-on holes that snap together. What I have done is I've used this netting and I roll it over the top. But one of the things that I have realized is the natural rainwater that comes down here in South Central Kansas is quite a bit in May and June. And this has kind of prevented a lot of the water from reaching the broccoli plants. So that's why my husband said, we've really got to get these drips going to the base of the plants to get them to grow. And I couldn't agree more. Ever since we did that 3 years ago, I have never once had a broccoli plant that wasn't sufficient in flowering and producing like picture perfect broccoli. I gave it to my neighbor on the left side, I gave it to my neighbor on the right side, and they were just thrilled. But the first year, we didn't do this. And as my husband and I were cooking broccoli for dinner that night, my husband said, you may not want to eat any more of that. Look, and there was those little green worms crawling in our dinner.
So we have this gardening kit here that my wife got off of Amazon, and it comes with these little poly tubes that you literally just have a barb insert. It's a little coupler. You go ahead and you stick that in there on one side, you stick the other one in, and then they basically flex into an arc. So once you've got your arc built, you can go ahead and run the netting over top of the arc. And then with these little clips, you can see here, they're like little clamps. They just clasp over the top of that pipe and it holds down the netting. Maybe on the edges you need to put some stones, like we have some flagstone here that we just put down to hold it down solid on the edges, and it prevents the moths from laying their little eggs and hatching those little green worms on your broccoli. So real quick, we'll show you how to put this on your broccoli plants, or over the broccoli plants, I should say.
All right, here we go. We're going to start rolling. And we're going to take these clips and we're going to stretch this out tight enough and taut that it's over the broccoli plants, but not touching. So we still have a consistent watering with the drips in place. But this netting still allows the water from the rain to get through. Like I said earlier, not as much, but with those drips that my husband talked about earlier, it's critical that those go to the root of the plant. This just helps prevent those cabbage moths from laying those eggs. Now that you have your netting over your broccoli, It's so important to get that 6 inches of depth of watering to your base that it's completely covering the watering needs of your broccoli plant. Thanks for watching our video. We hope it was helpful. We'll see you next time.